Welcome back to Smok'n Jay's Garage. Today we are going to be shooting black powder in a conventional pistol. We are going to be using a Ruger Blackhawk. And this one does have the ported barrels in it, so it should not have much recoil, although black powder does not have nearly as much recoil as conventional shells do anyway. Now, this video is for educational purposes only. Don't necessarily try this at home. Remember that black powder is measured, all powder is measured in grains, but black powder, a grain is a measurement of volume, and conventional powder, a grain is a measurement of weight. So they are not at all interchangeable. We have triple F and we have double F. Now typically, double F would be fired in a rifle, triple F would be fired in a pistol, single F would be more like cannon powder, and 4F would be more like the very, very fine powder. Just for reference here, anytime that I point the firearm at the camera, it is either because it is on a tripod or it is because it is being filmed with the drone, and then we'll voice over it after the fact. But sometimes we need to get some of those shots in front of the firing line for effect, and they will not ever be a person behind that we are pointing at, so keep that in mind. All right, we have her all loaded up with triple F. We are using, I always use stainless when I fire black powder because it is so much easier to clean. We are using actual black powder. It's very corrosive, very explosive. We do not use the Paradox stuff that you could use, but we are not using that. Most of what we have been firing today is with a suppressor up until this point, so do not forget to put your hearing protection back in. Now, black powder makes a mess. You can see we've got this empty. I want you to go ahead and take a look at the gun here. You can see, especially right out of that muzzle, you can see a lot of black, especially on this side. You can see that. You can see that my hands have quite a bit of powder on them, and we got some on the cylinder. That's only from 5 rounds. We had one that did not go off. Walk over here real quick, take a look at the target. You can see that I have one that is way off. I was shooting right over here. My first one was way off. The other ones were a little off, but a pretty good group. Those are obviously hand loads because you cannot buy conventional shells in black powder. Now, this is once fired with black powder. Obviously, it's reloaded now. But that's just give you an idea on what your shells are actually going to look like, what your brass is going to look like after it's fired. Now, this was cleaned, wiped down, but not put in a polisher or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Once you fire your black powder through your shell, I would not recommend using it for anything but black powder. You see, these are never fired with black powder before. They are nice and shiny yet. So that's just something to keep in mind should you ever decide to load with black powder. Now, why would you want to do that? And that's just simply one reason. It smokes, and that's pretty cool. As you can see, I'm really high on one. We fired from right over here. I'm really high on that one, but the other one is a pretty good group. It seems like my first shot is always a little bit too high. Again, take a look at the gun after firing it. That is after 6 rounds. You can see all of the just powder burn and kind of nastiness, especially by the port there. This is my first time shooting this gun with black powder. Actually, my first time shooting this gun, period. So I don't know how it normally would look coming through those ports, but probably not nearly that much. I went ahead and tried to throw some conventional 44 Magnum in it and realized 4440 was all I had taken today. So we didn't get to try it with regular shells. Now, black powder also has substantially less recoil than what conventional powder does, and I'm going to show you with a one-handed shot here how little recoil you get from a 44 Magnum. It doesn't mean that I can necessarily hit anything with one hand, but very substantially less recoil than what a conventional 44 Magnum would have. I also wipe it down after every 6 shots. Otherwise, you are going to get, it's going to get really, really dirty. So just get a look at that. That's just 6 more shots. You can see how dirty that's gotten, especially a couple of, right there, you got some really dark spots. And again, look at that muzzle. But there you have it. That is what shooting black powder in a conventional cartridge will look like. If you watch this channel for the first time and you haven't already, and you want to, a boom, please subscribe.